So what we really have is a problem that neighbourhood policing is increasingly being understood to be a complex problem. This is not any old problem. This is not a technically difficult problem. This is a particular type of problem that public policy makers are beginning to identify. A way of thinking about this is the people involved in the problem situation can't agree on the problem, let alone what the solution should be. These are specific types of problems, not like a road traffic accident, which is a complex and difficult problem to tackle. But if there is a road traffic accident, everyone understands what that is a problem, the nature of the problem, boundary of the problem, and when it's been dealt with, everyone can agree that it's been dealt with and fixed. Whereas neighbourhoods are not quite the same as a road traffic accident. They're much more complicated. The people involved don't always agree that they are a problem or that they are part of the problem. The problem belongs to somebody else. The boundaries of the problem are very difficult to establish, and there isn't really a time at which where you're able to say, that's it, that particular neighbourhood has been fixed. It's been recognised by policymakers, particularly in child protection world, but PCCs and chief constables also starting to recognise it. It's a category of problems that we could say are resistant to the standard national decision model approach, and we'll be exploring that in more detail. Sort of thing that can't be solved by projects or committees or operations, things that have discrete starts, beginnings and ends, because communities don't have starts, beginnings and ends. They go on regardless of whether the police are there. And the things that we do into those communities, the operations or the interventions is the term I prefer to use, they need to be produced with the communities. We can't just go and impose expert created solutions on the community. If they own it, they're going to implement it. So we can't own, or the police can't own the solution, but what needs to be done is organising the community to do better at the things that they do every single day, which is to keep their community. So rather than trying to do this sort of community engagement in every single neighbourhood, in every single part of a command area, what we want to do is intensively investigate and engage or invest in particular parts of the community to understand the problem better and develop solutions. This requires us to have a particular approach. We only, as police, only get to see a part of the problem. A crime problem is only a small part of the whole variety of issues and challenges and problems that communities face day by day. And trying to understand how the police fit in as a small part of their bigger picture, bigger world, is an important challenge. Often other agencies and residents themselves are thought of as being a problem. We often think of perpetrators of crimes as being a problem rather challengingly part of the solution. Police officers like to solve problems. They're trained to solve problems, trained to be dynamic and decisive, all sorts of skills and experiences that are absolutely vital in a reactive situation, but less useful when you are trying to work with a wide variety of people who don't even necessarily agree on the problem, or even agree on what the interventions, what the solutions might be. And often when we try and implement an intervention, it doesn't work well because the people receiving that intervention, that operation, don't understand why it's being done, let alone collaborate and cooperate with the police on that operation. The problem the police also face is that they can't solve all the problems that influence their behaviour. So it's well known now that mental health issues and the way in which changes in other parts of the public sector and the community sector have affected people's understanding of mental health and drug taking, all impact directly on the police's performance, the numbers of calls for service, the volume of call for service, the timing of the call for service, all of that gets affected. But the police themselves can't change that and can't change the demand curve. And we also police forces spend a lot of resource on repeats of antisocial behaviour and serious acquisitive crime, stuff that goes on and on and on. There's a bulk of demand that needs to be tackled on a day-by-day basis, and the challenge is to try and move upstream and reduce that demand before you tackle it.